Hello. Hello. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah, thank you. Better we start the webinar. Okay, I have been waiting for Miss Kamakshi. I don't think that she's joining now. Is she here, Miss Kamakshi? Yeah. Yeah, better you unmute your mic and speak to me rather than giving me the messages, okay, in the chat box.
Hi, Lakshmi.
Yeah, you can start. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
waiting for you. Yes. Yeah.
Let's wait for a few more people to join in and then
Yes,
we shall
yes,
start, okay?
okay.
Hi, everybody. I can see a lot of you here. Thank you for joining. We'll just wait for 5 more minutes for everybody to join in and then I think we shall start. So meanwhile, I'll just introduce Mr. Lakshmi to you. So he's a very experienced teacher and he has been an examiner with IB also. He has almost 32 years of experience. I hope I'm not wrong. Yeah, and he has worked with IGCSE, IB, and other international curriculums. And now he's here to share his experience and share his learnings with us so that we can learn things from him and we can help our students achieve good results in their exams. Okay, so we'll just wait for 5 more minutes and then we can start the session. Okay, and I would request all of you to keep your questions ready, keep your whatever you want to ask about exams, about helping your students excel in exams. You can keep everything ready and we can have discussion and we can have a very fruitful session out there. Okay, all good? Can I see thumbs up? Can I see your faces? It would be great if you could, enable your video.
Miss Kamakshi, please instruct all the students to open the cam, but mute the mic, okay? Mute the audio.
All of us,
Yeah.
they're not students, everybody is a teacher.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
All the tutors.
Over the participants.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
the participants. Okay.
Right. Okay. So as Mr. Lakshmi said, if you could enable your videos, that would make it a very interactive session, right? And you can ask your questions and everything from him. Okay. His expertise is in bio, right, Lakshmi?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
I give a little bit introduction before I start my
Yeah.
session. Once you say green signal, then I will
Correct.
go ahead. Yeah, yes. So
Yeah.
let me change my.
Meanwhile, I'll introduce everybody else to you. We have
Yeah,
Sumaya, we have Anshu,
my
Venkat,
background.
Nishant. All of us are Tutopiya tutors here. Shazia, Shriram. is also there.
So let me go with the. How can I change my background here when I go to the more? Wait, hold on. Reset to default. No. Wait, board
You have to go
notes.
to your video.
No. I'm talking about the changing my background to the
Yeah, yeah.
Tutopiya.
There are
I
two
have
options at the end, no? Audio and video.
audio
So
and video. Very
besides
good.
video, there is a small arrow. If you click on
Mm.
the arrow, you will see something like adjust background and effects.
Yes, I
There you
got it.
can adjust your background.
I get it from my
I think we are good to start now.
yeah.
Yeah, we are good to start. Okay.
Okay, let it be my background, let it be. Okay, good morning, everyone, all of you. Very good morning. I am Lakshmi Narayanan, call me Lakshmi or Ellen. I'm hailing from a city called Coimbatore, which is in southern part of India. About my educational background, I'm holding a master's degree in science, and I'm a graduate in education. Over 32 years of teaching experience in different international schools in different countries, including Indonesia, Kenya, China, Thailand, also in India. I teach both IBO and Cambridge curriculum, including AS and A level, since 2006, about 18 years of teaching experience of these two international curricula. Apart from teaching these subjects, uh, I teach biology, science, and ESS, these three subjects throughout my teaching career. Apart from teaching these subjects, I held other positions also, like CAS coordinator, EE, extended as a supervisor. It's all I'm talking about the IBO components. Then personal projects for MIP program, MIP. Then I was a subject coordinator for some time. Then I was heading the MIP moderation team for biology. So these are my some administrative positions along with my teaching. So throughout my teaching career service, I maintain excellent academic results. Also, I guided my students to score, get billions of what that's called, as you know, most of your Cambridge teacher, Cambridge facilitator, as you know, that's called billions award or regional topper. Some years, okay. So that is my kind of a brief introduction. Okay, without further delay, let's start our webinar on the assessment and feedback. That's the module given to me today. So let me share my screen now. Let me go to the sharing. So can you allow me, Miss Kamakshi?
Yeah, done.
Yeah, okay. Yes. Please hold on. Can everybody see my screen now?
Not yet.
Not yet. Please hold on. Please hold on for a delay. Please hold on. The entire screen I'm sharing. Now, can you see my documents?
No. You
Yeah,
have to share your entire screen.
yeah, wait, please hold on. Sorry.
Do you want me to share the slides? Oh, it has started now.
Started now?
Yes, yes. You can start the slideshow.
Yes. Please hold on. This is actually is coming in between. Now, is it okay? It's a full screen?
Yes.
Okay. Today we are going to talk about, or we are going to discuss, or I'm going to, narrate a brief about the examiner insights, how to help students excel in external exams. I have taken three important curricula: IBO, Cambridge IGCSE, and Pearson Edexcel. So some of you are having experience in teaching IBO, some of you are having both IBO and Cambridge, some of you are having Edexcel. But so far, I have not directly have formal kind of experience in Edexcel, but still have the format as well as the blueprint and other the question format as well as the assessment and feedback of the Edexcel. So let me go to the second slide. Okay. Please hold on. Okay. So as you know, it's very one of the important practices of teaching and learning. The students learn concepts or the knowledge, whatever the teachers import or give them during their learning session, teaching session. End of the day, the students have understood the particular knowledge or particular concept or particular the learning of a day. How are they going to retrain that particular knowledge in their in their life? That's called a lifelong learner. So this is one of the the practices we follow in our the curriculum or in our the learning journey. It's called assessment. As everybody knows, this one is important practices, one of the important practices of the learning, teaching and learning is a process in which student achievement can be gathered and evaluated. So we know that the student is engaged in the classroom, doing his activity, discussing with us, interaction with the teachers as well as his own the peer group. But still, there is a method, there is a way of giving them a kind of a assessment, a kind of a test. It could be anything. It could be a kind of a quiz, a kind of a writing one page, or then a poster making, or the kind of a brainstorming session. It could be any way of the method is different, but finally the teacher is able to understand or able to know where the student is positioned, how he is able to how he is able to grasp or understand the concept in the end of the day. So that's very important. So assessment must be designed carefully to meet the purposes its results are used for. So why the once we know the results, we know where the student is standing, or how he is, whether he needs some more kind of help, some more support in the learning journey. So it will give an idea about the students, the positioning, whether he had understood the particular concept, a particular unit. So that could be the kind of way to understand the students' progress also in the learning journey. So assessment can influence teaching practices and must be designed accordingly. So once the student, suppose the whole class is not performing well. So what we try, those of we need to think, oh, somewhere else we went wrong. So how could I modify my strategies? How can I change my, change the requirements of the students? How I am going to accommodate the those practices or those teaching the strategies according to the need of the requirements of the students. So all this picture will be very clear once we know the results from the students. Okay, after the taking assessments. Now, sometime assessment are carried out over a prolonged period, or and at other time they take place over a few hours. As we know, as I told you, a quiz program. Suppose over 30 minutes, or writing one page kind of questionnaire could be, or could be a short activity. So that would be, we call it as a formative assessment, or kind of formative assessment, or yeah, that's called very few of us maybe to know the immediate the results of the learning of a particular concept. What would we do? Other one is prolonged period, means it could be a kind of a summative. That means end of the period, or sorry, end of the unit, or end of the session, end of the semester. We give a kind of a assessment that will what it is for the the whole learning could be understood by the the teacher. That's called a prolonged period, or you can say end of the semester. That is known as summative assessment. Everyone knew about this one before. So assessment will sometimes be judged by the student's teacher, while other time they're evaluated by an external examiner. So that is possible internal assessment. Practical scheme of work, or any for in the case of IBO, we talk about the internal assessment. So the students perform the experiment and write the report. That would be moderated, or that could be assessed by his or her subject teacher. Then after that particular assessed paper could be sent to the external, could be sent to the IBO, or could be sent to the headquarters, or could be sent to the IBO people. Then they do the external moderation by other examiner. So that is for the the external moderation after assessed by the teacher, original teacher, or the student teacher, for the internal assessment. There are many, like a portfolio, submission of portfolio, or coursework, or sometime sometime the kind of for example, in the languages, the speaking test or reading test. That's called oral test. We can call it as a oral test. So that is all called as internal examinations. Okay. Even we talk about the extended essay in the case of IBO, in the case of personal projects. These are all called internal assessment, that is assessed by the teacher, the teacher of the school, then which further sent to the IBO headquarters or Cambridge. There they will moderate externally by the other examiner. So go to the next slide. Yeah. So as we know, in education, assessment has often been divided into, as I told you, formative assessment for learning and summative assessment of learning. So is assessment for learning the one for one particular piece of work, or one particular piece of learning. Maybe one particular concept, one particular small unit. Of unit is broken down into subparts. That's called and summative means assessment of learning. That means the whole unit, the whole maybe for example the syllabus. For example, 6 month syllabus, 6 months portions which are covered during the particular term could be assessed by kind of examination. That's called by way of multiple choice question, or by way of under examination condition, sometimes criteria reference assessment. These are all called the summative assessment. So I give you some examples of the formative assessment. Is on ongoing dynamic process of evaluating student learning and understanding during instruction. So as I told you, every now and then, once you complete the unit, once you complete the particular portion of the unit, so immediately by giving a kind of a small test, maybe a quiz, maybe MCQ, a kind of a 10 MCQ, or any format that could that could give a kind of a better understanding during the instruction for the teachers, how the student is progressing, whether he is able to understand the concept or not. That will be very clear once you give this type of formative assessment. Then coming to the next one, designed to provide continuous feedback to both students and teachers. That's what I told you, allowing for adjustment in teaching and learning strategies as needed. Suppose majority of the students did not understand the particular concept or particular teaching over the a week of time. So what the teacher might look into this one and try to change the his own way of strategies, methodologies, or where I went wrong, how could I give them a kind of interesting way of understanding whether they have whether they have interaction with the teacher or not. So according to the the positioning or according to the results of those formative assessment, the teacher can also modify, adjust his own way of teaching strategies as well as the methodologies. So the primary goal of formative assessment is to identify areas where students are struggling or excelling. Sometimes, no wonder the students can perform exceedingly well. That is also possible because strategies are good and also unit plan is good. All the activity sheets are so. Once everything went on well, definitely most of the students perform well. Suppose there are some individuals they have not done well, so we need to understand why they are not done well, and we need to talk to them, give them feedback, and also they also come up with their own approach and their own kind of clarifications why I'm not able to do this one. So we will sort out very easily then and there once we know the results, so that instruction can be tailored to meet their needs and improve learning outcomes, as I told you before. With the next one. So before I give you a video, I try to give a video clip to everybody to see, watch this video about the formative assessment. As well as summative assessment, I'll try to give you some common examples. So how do we, test the particular unit, a particular, duration of the learning by the students through these, the methods, these through ways of assessment. One is exit tickets and think, pass, share, Kaguta Quizlet Live, self-assessment, peer assessment, concept maps, digital tools, traffic light cards, poster making, debate. Those who are teaching IGCSE, Cambridge, as well as the IBO, definitely these terminology they might have known. They might have known. Even some of the students also might have done all these different kinds of. It's not necessarily to go with the all these one which are mentioned. It depends on the situation, depends on the unit which we are teaching to the students. That would be also possible. Okay, so let me give you the video now.
Lakshmi, you need to share the audio also.
Yeah. Audio, you're not able to hear the audio?
Yeah. You need, like, when you start your screen share, there only an option comes to share an audio.
No?
No. You have to actually, when you start screen share, no, then only an option comes to share audio. Then it will
Can
share
you-
your system audio. It's okay. We have the captions anyway. That's fine.
Can you hear this now audio? Now are you able to? Hello?
We can hear your audio, but we cannot hear the audio of this YouTube video.
Why? What is it? I put everything.
Can you stop screen share for a moment?
Yeah. Wait. Top. Which one I have to do? Stop sharing.
Yes, stop sharing.
Yeah.
Now, again, go to share screen. There
Yeah.
only you will see an option to share sound, or at the right hand side, you can see an option of share sound.
Device issue. Yeah, share sound. Okay.
Yeah. Now you can again share your video.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Let me start from the beginning.
How do you know how your students are doing? How do
Yes,
they know?
it's working fine now.
For Andre and his teacher, Ms. G, most of this knowledge never goes in the gradebook, but that doesn't mean it isn't important. Through various strategies, Ms. G is constantly assessing how her students are learning, how quickly they're approaching the learning targets informed by the standards. And she invites students into the process so they are assessing their own learning. Because the whole point is to help everyone decide what's next. It helps students to be actively involved in their learning, helps them identify goals to move them forward toward college and career readiness, and it helps Ms. G refine her instructional plan for the next hour or the next day. This is formative assessment, a deliberate process used by teachers and students during instruction to provide specific, actionable, and immediate feedback. Formative practices promote ongoing reflection, and they're used to quickly adjust teaching and learning. Unlike the big summative events that many people think of when they hear the word assessment, formative assessment is a process that happens every day. It's also the most powerful type of assessment for our students. While the other two types of assessment primarily report on learning, research has confirmed that formative practices can have a direct impact on learning in significant and positive ways. You could say formative assessment is the only type with the power to transform student learning through instruction. Why is that? It's because formative assessment is really a part of instruction. It's teachers using their expertise to assess students while learning is happening, looking for patterns in student learning, having ongoing conversations with students about their own learning process. Formative feedback should be as immediate as possible and always include specific ways an individual student can improve. This personalizes learning. In many ways, formative assessment is a reflective process for both teacher and student. A defining characteristic is student self-reflection or metacognition. But students can't fully reflect on their learning if they're not clear on what the learning target is. Teachers play a critical role of explaining that learning goal. So the first step in the formative assessment process is for teachers to make sure they have a deep understanding of what the goals really are by engaging in a thorough examination of the standards and the knowledge, skills, and behaviors kids need for success. The next step is to think through what proficiency in the standard being taught really looks like, paving the way for useful feedback and a personalized approach to learning. If you're like Ms. G, and if you're like most teachers, you use some formative techniques all the time. It may look different from lesson to lesson, day to day, and even from student to student. But what is universal is that formative assessment is purposefully designed by teachers to use within their own instruction. Because the real power of formative assessment is in how it's used by students and teachers to refine the teaching and learning process. Although a principal or other administrator certainly might check in on formative assessment as part of coaching a teacher's instruction, the real purpose of formative data is for the student and teacher to determine what's next. So that's the final step in formative assessment, using this data to impact teaching and learning. If nothing is done with the information, it isn't formative. Every one of these steps relies on educator expertise and student voice. You can look at formative assessment as any educator close to a child, a classroom teacher, a librarian, a school counselor, or someone else, providing personalized instruction based on a two-way conversation about the student's goals and what he or she needs to get there. This personalization improves student outcomes and helps kids as they climb toward readiness for college and career. Use this website to find more on formative practices, including research and resources for classroom teachers.
Oh, what happened? Sorry. Sorry, okay.
इनका नाम गीता है। इन्हें कैट वीडियोस देखना
Oh
बहुत
my
पसंद
God.
है। ये हर
Oh, what
वेबसाइट के
happened,
लिए
Vivek?
एक ही पासवर्ड यूज कर रही हैं और भूल ना जाएं।
Can you hear me now? Sorry. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So let me share. Okay, I hope everyone watched this video, might have understood about the purpose of the formative learning, or the significance of the formative learning. Even in a lesson, even after completing one lesson, one period or one lesson, but still you can give a kind of a point in the form of a small quiz, or even can give any activity sheet related to the particular, relevant to the particular concept. That is also possible. It's not necessarily you have to wait for completion of one particular unit. Okay, so okay, can you see my for the whole screen, the entire screen? Yeah. Now, so going to the next one, the summative assessment, as we know, is a method of evaluating student learning, skill acquisition, and academic achievement at the conclusion of a defined instructional period. That's what. For the whole semester, for the entire, even for an year, 1 year or 6 months, even after a couple of months, to even the midterm, we can say midterm. So it's how we are going to evaluate the students' learning, as what are the skills he possesses during his the learning, and what about his whether he is achieving, whether he is performing well or not well, or he needs some more kind of in support or help. So all this we will come to the conclusion after a period of 6 months for the entire semester. That is also, that's called a summative one over the long period of time. So this is in contrast to the formative. It's just opposite to the formative assessment. Just yeah, contrast to the formative assessment, which is ongoing and used to guide teaching and learning throughout the instructional period. But this will not happen for the summative assessment. Once you give them test, once you give them exam, that's end of the day. That's all. That means we need to mark, we need to assess, and we need to give them the kind of report card, kind of the grade sheet, and that will be reflected in the grade sheet. How he learned over the period of time, whether he had understood the entire, whether he had possessed the skill or the knowledge for the particular unit, or for the particular unit of the particular subject. So all will be very clear at the end of the summative assessment. So here are some common examples of summative assessment: final exams, end of unit test, standardized test, final projects or presentations, the term papers. So all these are familiar by all the teachers, as well as some of the students also might have experience given by the teachers time to time. So this also we know. So when you go to the left side, you see how the types of summative assessments are given. See the formal essays, sometimes essay writing, sometimes group projects with some criteria, some kind of rubrics given for the project, some even oral test also. That's what we give, some oral test in the even end of the term, not during the teaching time, during the that is not the format, that's not summative, that would be the some formative one. And portfolio, sometimes portfolio submission. For example, even when you go with the PYP, they have to submit the portfolio end of the year 5, the primary students, as well as the sometimes the CAS students for the IBDP, they also need to submit the portfolio. What are the activities they have done during these 1.5 years of learning in the IBDP? That's creativity, activity, and so that's called portfolio submission in different components. End of the term exam, everyone know this one, by multiple choice, by paper one, paper two, sometime case study. So it depends on the subjects, different subject, they take the different kinds of, the summative assessments. So the benefits of the summative assessments go out around the picture, or see the left hand side picture, curriculum and instructional evaluation. The entire curriculum as well as the instructions of the assessment objectives are all evaluated end of the year or end of the term. Then even we evaluate whether the PYP have done what they have understood the entire, or they have fulfilled the principles of the PYP, principles of the MIP, principles of the DP, as well as the measure overall learning, then accountability and grading. So feedback on learning outcomes. Even we are giving feedback end up as a comments in the grade sheet. Then high stakes decision making. So then validating learning objectives. So these are all the some benefits of the summative assessments. So let me give you one more video regarding this one.
हमारे बच्चे जो हैं वो इतना गरीब है कि
Summative assessment is a type of assessment that measures student learning at the end of an instructional unit. These assessments are often high stakes, such as final exams, standardized tests, or end-of-unit projects, and are used to determine whether the educational goals of the course have been...
You have to switch to the tab where you are playing YouTube video. Share your entire screen. You share your entire screen so that we can see the video, because right now we can only able to see the...
to provide ongoing feedback that can be used by instructors to improve their teaching and by students to improve their learning. In contrast, summative assessment occurs at the end of a learning period and is primarily used to evaluate a final grade. Let's explore 3 key features of summative assessment. One key feature is its structured nature. These assessments are typically designed well in advance and are standardized to ensure fairness and objectivity. They follow a specific format which students are made aware of, such as multiple choice exams, essays, or presentations, allowing for consistent evaluation across different groups of students. Another feature is the comprehensive coverage of content. Summative assessments are comprehensive in scope, covering a wide range of material that the students have studied throughout the course or unit. This comprehensive evaluation helps educators determine the effectiveness of their teaching and the extent of student learning. The third feature is the focus on outcomes. Unlike formative assessments, which focus on the process of learning, summative assessments focus on the outcomes or the end results of the learning process. This makes them particularly useful for decision-making about student progression, such as moving to the next grade or graduating. Now let's move on to the benefits of summative assessment. One of the benefits is that it provides a clear, conclusive measure of student learning. It helps educators determine whether students have achieved the learning objectives of the course and are ready to move on to more advanced material. This can be crucial in educational settings that require mastery of certain key skills and knowledge before progression. Additionally, summative assessments can serve as a motivator for students. With a clear time and date for the summative exam, students have something to work toward. Furthermore, students will be able to compare their scores to their peers, inserting a degree of healthy competition. However, summative assessment also has limitations. One major limitation is the stress and anxiety it can induce in students, which may impair their ability to perform and truly reflect their understanding and abilities. High-stakes testing can create a pressurized environment that is not conducive to learning for all students. Another limitation is the potential for teaching to the test, where educators focus primarily on the content that will appear on the exam, rather than on a broader understanding of the subject. This can narrow the curriculum and reduce the opportunity for creative, in-depth learning that fosters a deeper understanding and critical thinking skills. Now we've looked at summative assessment. Take a dive into formative assessment in the video on screen now, or you can read my detailed articles on summative and formative assessment that I've left in the comments.
99
Okay. So I hope you have watched this video also, video clippings also, understood about the purpose as well as the benefits as well as there are some limitations. That's what they are given given a few limitations regarding the summative assessments. So rather than teaching or learning the skills, but it's only sticking to the teaching a particular the content of the course. So that would be one limitations in the summative assessment. Okay, coming to the next slide. Okay. Any questions on this one? Anyone would like to ask me any questions regarding the formative and summative assessment? I hope you have understood the main difference between the formative and summative assessment. This is for the this is during the instruction time or during the learning time over the prolonged period of time could be taking place. What about here? It's a continuous one, but here is only end of the term, end of the semester, or end of the unit. You can take a kind of an assessment that's called a summative one. Any question? Then I can move forward. Can I? Yeah. So assessments in the IBDP. Now I will talk about the IBO curriculum, or that's called International Baccalaureate Organization. There are three programs: PYP, MYP, and DP. So I'm more familiar with the MYP as well as DP. Though I have that experience, MYP, but not in PYP primary years program, but I know the principles into practices of the PYP also. Now, this DP assessment, I'm talking about the diploma program now. So not about the MIP. MIP I will touch here and there, but mainly I will concentrate on the DP assessment. So the procedures of this DP assessment is measure the students' academic skills and encourages an international outlook and intercultural skills. So the main idea of this is called, the global citizen. That's very, very important. So the IBDP, the main, when you look at the model of the IBDP, how is the curriculum is being taught in the diploma level. The main one, you see the outermost circle is called international mindedness. So we need to think about the international outlook as well as the intercultural skill. So we need to give a kind of a respect for all kinds of the give all kinds of culture customs over here in different countries. So it's mainly based on the global. It's make the students as global citizens. That's very, very important. So then IB uses both internal and external assessment in the DP. That means, as I told you, there are some, the assessments taking place in the classroom or in the diploma program or 2 years of time during the course of study. Then that would be given by the teacher and assessed by the same teacher. But all the materials are being sent to the IBO headquarters. Then they will moderate externally by other teachers. That's called, we call it as IB examiner. So suppose I can mark paper 2, somebody can mark paper 1, somebody can mark paper 1 and paper 3, somebody can mark external essay. So this is how they allot the papers for the different teachers in the different parts of the world. So that is called external moderation, already marked by the original teachers or the teachers of the particular school. So then they give some commendations or recommendations based on their marking, whether they need to change the level or the level is same, whether they have follow the rubrics properly. So all these what things they see, finally they will take their own decision based on their moderation. So the external assessment. So what are the external assessments in the IBDP during during the course of diploma program? They include essays, writing essays, structured problems, that's called questions, short response questions, data-based questions, text response questions, case study questions, multiple choice. The case study mostly in the kind of business studies or geography or sometime even in the environmental systems and society, ecology. So this is called case study questions and multiple choice questions. So I think the teachers are well aware of these different types of external examinations. Even the students also over here might have understood, might have learned, or might have known before the all these methods of the external not method, all these kind of ways of the assessing externally. That's called external assessment. Next one, internal assessment. You see, which are designed to evaluate the students' understanding and skills in a particular subject through practical work or projects. That's what I told you in the some before in the summative assessment, kind of a project. They give some kind of a project in different subjects. Maybe field work also, field study. Maybe sometime the practical one. Practical is called internal assessment or practical schema book for the sciences. And for the humanities, sometimes projects, sometimes field study. Even for the mathematics, even they give some kind of a coursework projects for other subjects. Even for the languages, sometimes a oral kind of oral test. And even the TOK, theory of knowledge, also part of the internal assessment. And what about the extended essay, also part of the internal assessment. And there are some components of the DP are categorized under the internal assessment. So unlike external exam, internal assessments are initially graded by the students' own teachers, though they are later moderated by IB exam. That's what I told you before. It's marked by the same teachers. Then later it would be sent to the IBO, where that would be moderated by the other examiners of the other parts of the world. Okay, so that's called external moderation after the internal standardization by the internal teachers. Now, each IB subject has its own internal assessment requirements, which can vary significantly between disciplines. Between different subject areas, they have some criteria. There are 4 criteria for the sciences. There are 6 criteria for the extended essay. So based on the requirements, the criteria, rubrics, we need to undertake the internal assessment. Then that would be moderated by the teacher. So which all focus on research, analysis, and communication skills. These 3 skills are very important: analytical skills, research skills, and communication skills. That's called we call it as in IBDP. This is called approaches to learning, like communication skill, time management skill, social skill, then also research skill, critical skill, like what we call it as the higher order thinking. For example, in the case of in the case of Bloom's taxonomy. So this is all coming talking about the research skill, analytical skill, and communication skill. So this internal assessment mainly focused on these skills, whether the students are able to possess these skills end of the diploma program at the end of the diploma program. So now I give you again some more examples of the internal assessment. How are they arranged in the school itself? Oral work in languages, the field work in geography, laboratory work in the sciences, investigations in mathematics, artistic performance, sometimes drama, theater, the performing arts, drama, theater arts, then written report for the various discipline, various subject areas, presentations, maybe group presentations or individual presentations, maybe group projects or, or individual projects. So this is the grading system for the IBDP. For example, you see six subjects. Each subject carries 7 marks, 7 points, altogether 42. Other core components TOK and EE consist of 3 points, altogether 45 points. So what about the CAS? It's not moderated, assessed, but still they need to submit the portfolio. That's called end of the year. I told you portfolio. End of the year, we need to submit the portfolio. It's also called a summative one, we can say. So that could be sent to the IBO. There they assess there they go through go assess the work of the student in through portfolio. So it's a very important, it's a must. If you don't submit the portfolio end of the grade 12, that means the student cannot be awarded IB diploma certificate. That is very, very important. Though it is not moderated, assessed by the both internal moderation or external moderation. External moderation. Sorry. Yeah. Now, coming to the role of a tutor. So, what is my role? How can I help my students to do well, excel well in the examinations of IBDP? So, I particularly concentrate in the IBDP. So, first I need to understand the exam format. See, if I don't know the blueprint, that means how many papers, how many hours, what are the marks, allotment of the marks, distribution of the marks, whether it is a criteria reference assessment and whether it is the internal one or external one, whether I'm going to follow the rubrics. So all these things will be would be much clear for the student before taking the exam. That's called because once you start the course, definitely you will be apprised, you will be given by the teacher regarding the number of hours, even the how many distribution of hours for the subject content, for the practical, for the CAS, for the EE, and what about the deadline. So all things will be very clear to the students when they study the course by given by different teachers along with the help of the IBDP coordinator. Coordinator also plays a crucial role along with that. That's called teamwork, collaborative work. Now, then early preparation, that's very important. So don't procrastinate. That means don't postpone. You need to prepare well in advance everything. You need to start reviewing the material well in advance, not just a few weeks before the exam, even from the day one onwards. Whenever, that's very important. Always the teachers say deadline. IB means deadline. You need to submit all the work well in advance before the deadline, and don't postpone, don't delay, then that will affect your other submissions also, because you are learning six subjects. Definitely you have a lot of work. You need to learn, you need to go through the different subjects, you need to talk about the curriculum, so other internal the core components. So no time for you to relax or easy yourself. So you need to be on your toes always about the what the reviewing material well in advance, not just few weeks before the exam. Start from the day one. That's the what the principle you need to take when you do the IBDP or IBO curriculum. Now, active recall. So these are other ways of how I'm going to keep the flashcard. That's called flash note. That's physical or digital. Like there's a different app is there. Anki, there's one of them. Quizlet is one of them. Please, you go and browse in the website. You will be getting all the information about the Kahoot, Anki, Quizlet for the different key terms, command terms, concepts, and also formulae for the different physics and maths, other subjects also, science subjects also. Then practice explaining topics out loud or in writing without referring to notes. So please, you know, normally I used to do in my younger day that when I always keep on saying by myself after reading, I practice in front of the sometime in front of the mirror. I tell my mom, please can you see? I tell my brother, can you please? I give the paper, I give my textbook, and I start giving the not like a rote learning, mugging up. You just understand your points and paraphrase it and say by yourself. That's called explain the topics out loud in writing without referring to the notes. Then engage in regular self quizzing in various topics. So you yourself can prepare your own Quizlet, and also you can answer for them, and also you can prepare your own MCQ, multiple choice question, answer them. That also another that's called active recall. So recalling all those learned one taught unit or taught portions of your teacher. That will be more easier for your formative assessment as well as the summative assessment. And going to the next one, space repetition. So that's very, very important. So sprout study sessions over time rather than cramming. That means what? Keep on continuing. So completely stressing yourself, anxiety, and bothering more. That won't be that won't be, that won't be ideal situation for you to read, or you to prepare for your exam, prepare your notes. So spread out. You make a timetable. So I'm going to do this one, this particular time. I'm going to read this particular topic of the particular subject. So give priority. So give priority. Write down, jot down in your note diary that this day, particular day, what are the priority, how I'm going to space out between breakfast and lunch, between lunch and dinner, and how I'm going to sleep early, how I'm going to wake up early. That's called spacing out your study session. That's very important. And use apps like Super Memo or Remnote that incorporate spaced repetition algorithm. So that will keep on repeatedly in reminding you, oh, this particular time you are going to read this particular topic of the particular subject. So again, you go and use this app, find out this app in the App Store, both Android and iPhone. Find out, and that would be give you a kind of well preparation for the spacing out learning. That will also what a kind of a way of doing well in the exam. Then mind mapping is also very important. Create visual representations of topic to see connection between different concepts. So that you need to know the curriculum first. You need to know the units and which unit is interconnected. That's called interconnected with the another unit. It's not necessarily sometimes molecular level. I'm talking about the biology, molecular level, cellular level, and also organism level, ecosystem level. So how I'm going to link the different topics of the subject according to these various levels of the learning. So that is another way of mind mapping. So always, sometime flow chart. Sometimes the teachers also will ask you to draw the flow chart. So that is another way of talking about the visual representation of the topics during mind mapping means everything is created in your mind as a flow chart, as any kind of visual representation that will keep on remembering you about the different topics and connection between different topics also. And another one, tools like mind mystery, please go and check out in the digital mind mapping. Go and find out in the app mind mister or Google. Can be helpful for my IBDP students. Used to come and say to me, I have done this, teacher. I have gone through this one. Even I that time I was not aware of this one, all this one. So when the student themselves they prepare, because they're all technology savvy student, well, they in the technology era, they are all most advanced students. They sometimes they inform the teachers. Tell the teachers to why don't you try this, master, try this, sir, we enjoy this one. You can also find out what's in this one. So I also learned a lot of, because I didn't know much about the different apps of the different applications. So slowly, one by one, during the course of my teaching profession, I came to know that when I started fiddling with with the phone and laptop, and I try to know all these updated applications for the educational. So it's called educational tool. Then, as usual, most of the schools follow this one: past papers and mark schemes. So that is very, very important. You know, though you have all the technological application advancement, all this one, but still the past papers and mark schemes are very, very important. So always, the teacher, even sometime we follow the same past paper, but sometime what the teacher, as a teacher, sometime they prepare on their own by mix matching the questions of the different years, rather than, because the students will come to know very easily about what this paper is taken from this particular, because they have the question back, and they also have the mark scheme in their fingertips. So what they do before teacher, they try to copy and paste. So to avoid this one, I normally prepare the any summative assessment, mix and match, and different year November session, or June session, and according to the concept, according to the unit, I prepare on my own. So the student, then finally I'll provide the mark scheme. That is also very important. They need to know the mark scheme is very, very important too, like a Bible. So each and every abbreviation of the mark scheme, they should aware of this one. So once they know, there are different abbreviation in the both IBO mark scheme as well as the Cambridge mark scheme also. So by continuously practicing as well as the continuous teaching experience, you will come to know. Even most of the teachers over here are well aware of the abbreviation of the mark scheme, and how we penalize the student or we don't penalize the student. And normally, one thing is very important. We whenever we start marking the paper, I always think what the students know, what he knows. I don't see what he doesn't know, and I don't see what he didn't write. I always see what he has written, whether it's relevant or according to the need, or according to the relevant of the question, according to the relevant of the concept, the command terms. So all the terminologies, scientific terminology are being used or not. So I see that way only. But if you see, especially this advice for the not advice, suggestion for the teachers who are marking over here. See, when you start marking the paper, what students know on the particular about the particular concept, and don't think that that's what he doesn't know, and that means we are not justifying ourselves when we mark our papers. Okay, so next one, websites like MyIB, that's called MyIB is very, then extreme.com, IBO documents, same exams, and in thinking, there are different, kinds of website which all have the past papers, practice papers, and different, the both formative and assessment activity sheets or worksheets or question papers. It's a called pool of question bank available in these websites. Make use of them, and the students also, most of the students knew this one. All the even some of the, like a physics max wala, some tutor.com, physics max tutor.com. So students themselves, they know more than the teachers and the sources of the question bank. And they also bring the lot of resources for the teachers that are also possible in a school. And going to the online resources also, I always like a if I talk about the biology, it's called Bio Ninja, if I'm not wrong. Bio Ninja, our Khan Academy is very, very useful, what the video medium, multimedia for the teachers as well as for the student. Sometimes the student doesn't understand the teacher's particular concept. He can go home and refer to these videos. We have no time for the teachers to play this because it goes more than 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So students themselves sit at home and use this, resources, Khan Academy, for math, science, economics, and also crash course videos. There are so many YouTubers, the educators, the scholars, they themselves keep so many videos, both international as well as Indian and other country. The scholars, experts, they give a lot of videos in the YouTube. Also, you can make use of them. That is also available freely, and it's not encrypted. No need to pay that part. Then in thinking subject sites also the other one. So, but here subscription needed, okay, required actually for the in thinking. The school, suppose the school does this one, management does this one on behalf of teachers and students. They've subscribed. The students, the schools will subscribe this particular resource. Now, collaborative study. So that's very important. You can make your own study groups to discuss complex, because there are in the group well talented students, gifted students might be there, and they are very, up to date. They are very, that means very sincere, and they keep on, keeping all the updates of the learning part of the revision part. So you can get from them also by discussing with them. If you don't know a particular process, particular mechanism, we can go to them and talk to them, and they will teach. And that's called peer teaching and learning also possible. Then use platforms like Discord and Slack. to create subject-specific study channels. So you can try this one also. I have not tried this one so far, but you can try this one also to create subject-specific study channels also. So going to the next one, subject-specific techniques. This is also another important one, like a regular immersion through podcast. Now it's a very familiar podcast. Every school follow this one. News article through films, especially for the languages in the target language. Then sciences focus on understanding and applying the scientific method, practice, data analysis. Okay. Then maths mathematics emphasize problem solving strategies and showing clear working. Then humanities practice essay writing and source analysis. This is subject specific technique. So if you follow this one, especially different subjects, then it will be more easier for you to perform well in the exam, in the summative exam. Then IB specific resources. What are the use the official IB subject guide? That's also very, very important. Every subject has the subject guide. The IBO published the subject guide and all the the principles into practice given in the subject guide. And also specimen paper also available on the website MyIB PRC Program Resource Center. If you go to the Cambridge, we'll talk about the Cambridge a little later. Then explore Oxford study courses, revision guides for the concise subject overviews. So this is the IB specific resources. Then time management, that's very important. So time management, again, use the Pomodoro technique. That's called a one kind of app, Pomodoro app. 25 minutes of focus study followed by a 5-minute break. So you can try this one in the Pomodoro app. And apps like Forest or Focus at Will can also help maintain the concentration during study sessions. So maintain this how you are giving the allotment of how you are allotting the time for each and every subject, and without overlapping, without cramming, you will be able to understand about this one. Then subject specific apps. Then photo math for step-by-step math solution. I have not done all this one, but I knew this one given by my colleagues during my experience, during my teaching career. Then they all given this is called Duolingo or Babbel for language practice. I have not done this one. You can try. Those who are taking the language teachers can try this one. And Symbol Lab for the advanced one. And also there is another one called Colorado, kind of that's called simulations for the science lab, virtual lab for the Colorado PAT. That's called that particular simulations could be used in the what you call the practical. Then theory of knowledge and extended for this one, they use the IB's official TOK subject guides and prescribed titles. Explore Cafe for extended essay resources and examples. So these are all given in the IB official TOK subject guide. So that's another one. My IB, the school itself, enroll all the teachers, whoever is teaching IBO, they will be enrolled and they get the password, username and password for using the MyIB, the PRC. Then explore Cafe for extended essay resources and examples. Maybe it's also maybe prescribed one, okay, or maybe encrypted one, okay. Then look at the only I given you for the biology alone, the external assessment. This latest one, the latest change in the IBO biology. That's first exam in 2025. Paper 1, 2 hours. Paper this was both SL and HL. That's called SL standard level and higher level. Those who are teaching IBO, they will aware of this one. SL and standard level and actually like a core and extended. What you study in Cambridge, core and extended the same way, SL and HL. Okay. So that will be, for the specific one for the biology one. You can find out in the IBO over the subject guide for different subjects also. Then the focus on command threads, that's very important. There are different assessment objectives like demonstrating knowledge, apply the knowledge, analyze the knowledge, or evaluate the knowledge, or other the skills, the learning skills. For all this one, the command terms are very important, like analyze, evaluate, compare, contrast, deduce, distinguish, conclude. There are so many command terms very, very important. Not only here, even in other curriculum also. And encourage critical thinking. So that's very, very important. Higher order thinking, it's called Bloom's taxonomy. Because the questions are framed in such a way in the structured one, whenever you go with the database question, it's starting from beginning from the simple to complex or known to unknown. Finally, go to the later half of the question. You need to use your analytical skill, critical thinking in order to remove the knot of a particular concept. So unless you are thorough with the concept, very difficult to use this complex, the higher order thinking skills. That's very, very important. Our higher order thinking questions, very, very important. Utilize IB resources. As I told you, subject guide, mock scheme, examiner report. That is very, very important. Every year they give the examiner threshold also, examiner report also. So better to go through the exam report, what is given for the particular question, how the students fail to write, and how he can improve, how he can improve, or how he can modify his answer in order to score the next level. So all these inputs are given in the exam reports about a particular question. Okay. Then implement study groups. As I told you, the encourage collaborative learning, again, peer teaching and learning. So to share your knowledge and discuss complex topics, that will be much easier for them. The role of a tutor in helping, the same one, continuing with this one, teach stress management technique. That's all. That many students nowadays often come across this stress. I'm stressed, I'm not able to, I'm more anxious, stressed. That means because of exam related, it's called exam phobia. Then there is no relaxation. So they need to find out how I'm going to relax myself during the study time. Suppose, for example, 1 month before exam, very vigorous, very, 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 very strenuous exercise to be done during the preparation. So he has to think about his mind, think about his body, health, what about the diet, nutrition, what about the proper sleep, all this one to be well followed by the student during the preparation time. That's called teach stress-free management techniques by the teacher, by the school itself. That way, every school guidance and counseling, the department will take care of this one during the exam time. They have a exclusive session for the students to know more techniques, how to come out of this situation. Then emphasize the importance of the internal assessment. Again, every time, because they need to keep on reminding. There's one, that's called a platform called Manage Back. For example, for IBDP, the Manage Back for 11 and 12. So everything is given in the Manage Back. All times it talks about what type of internal exam is coming up. The calendar, that's very, very important. The calendar is given in the beginning itself. This is the time to submit, this is time to first draft, second draft, and also final submission, and all this information regarding the submission, regarding the preparation, regarding the assessment, everything given over there in the managed back of the IBO. So many schools, invariably about 90% of the schools start following the managed back for the IBDP. That's a big asset for the school, for the following the progress of the IBDP student, for both internal and external assessment. Lot of resources, unit plan, everything, blah blah, everything would be there in the managed back of the IBO. Then regular mock exam. Always every school have this kind of system, giving a mock exam. Sometimes they have time, like what do you call, before mock exam, the pre-mock exam also. They have some pre-mock exam, then actual mock exam, then finally they go to the final exam. So they are well accustomed, used to the pressure as well as the stress for during the time of real, not during the time of exam preparation before the real exam. That will be reduce the stress and pressure of the take away the stress and pressure of the student during the when they are familiar with the mock exams. Okay. Then these are the assessment objectives you can find out in the IBO website, or IBO. That's called my IB, are taken from the IBO. So demonstrate, apply. Yeah.
Lakshmi, yeah, I was saying, let's conclude with the IBO for today because already our time has run out and most of the tutors have sessions now. So,
Okay.
the IGCSE and the Edexcel one, either we can cover it in the next session or we can
Okay.
have a video recording of the same.
Yeah. So I will wrap up very quickly within 5 minutes of time. Okay, there's not much differences between the preparation, the role of a teacher, how to make the students to do well in their exam. Only the kind of assessment pattern is different. The papers are different. The subject groups are different. And apart from these, some basic, the main basic changes and coming to the assessment, more or less similar. There's not more differences between the IBO as well as IGCC and other one. So how many slides? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're about. So better we can conclude. Can you please ask them? Are they able to stay another 15 minutes if it is possible? Hello?
What do you say, guys? Because I also have to jump to another call. That's why I was saying.
Okay. Then I will conclude by by this IBO itself. Okay, with this IBO. Then I will, if you give me any time further, then I will start with the Cambridge as well as the the Edexcel one. Okay. So let me stop sharing. Okay.
Team, do you have any questions? Anything that you would like to clarify from Lakshmi? I think we have very less people left now because some of them
Most.
left at
Okay.
45 or
Okay.
11.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Can
Anyway,
I leave now? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, I will share a feedback form with you and we'll take suggestions from you about the upcoming sessions, what you would like to focus on. If we talk about examinations, so you can let us know so that we can plan the sessions accordingly. And because we could not cover IGCSE and Edexcel today, we'll either have a video recording of the same or we will share the slides with you and we'll share the recording of this one also on Moodle. So you can, watch it at your own pace, at your own convenience. Okay. Thanks everybody for joining in. Thank you. Have a great day ahead. Thank you, Lakshmi, for such an
Thank you.
informative.
Ma'am. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.